Alright, in this episode number 64 we are going to see how to create this 3D text rotating. So the files that are needed is HTML and CSS file. To follow along, I'll leave the link of the source code which I'm creating right now in the description so that you can follow along. Now you can see there is a text which is getting rotated, and let's start creating it. Now the first file what we need is demo.html. Let me save this as demo.html, and let me create CSS file demo.css. Now let's create a template, HTML template. So for that, exclamatory tab, let's link the CSS link, and now what we can do is we need to link this demo.css. Cool. Now let's start creating the HTML. The first one, we need container. Inside the container we need a box. Box is the thing which is getting rotated, and inside that we have span. Let's make the text UI monk is awesome. Let's grab this thing inside I tag, and again let's grab this thing inside I tag. Now here we are going to see the concept of variable. Let's create a inline style equal to, for the variable in CSS we have to use --i, then we have to give the ID. I'm going to give the number. I'm going to assign number 1 to the variable I for this particular span. Cool. Now if I show you, let's see how does this look. Control T, paste. Let's name this as demo. We have already named it a demo. That's the reason. If you see, this is the text which we have written. So let me call the Google font Poppins and include it in the CSS. So without wasting time, let me just copy paste it, which I have already done it in the example. So this is the Google font Poppins, and for all the element I have removed margin and padding, and I have given the font Poppins. If I refresh, this is how it looks. Now let's start styling it. Let us take this aside. The first thing, we need a body. The reason for making this, let's give background color to hash black, and then let's place the text at the center. Display, flex, align items center, justify content center, height 100% vertical height. Cool. Now the same way, whatever is there inside container, I want it to have at the center. The same trick we are going to follow. Display, flex, justify content, align items. Then we have box. Since box is a thing which we are going to rotate, I'm just keeping this aside. So since this is the thing which is going to get rotated, I'm going to perform translate preserve 3D, because translate style preserve 3D, because this thing need to be added here. The reason for adding this is, if there's a child, we are going to have a child which is going to have the z index. So to have that z index, we have to use the parent. In this case it's box, and we are going to add the transform style preserve 3D. Cool. The next thing, let's start styling the span. Let's give the color so that we can see how does it looks. Let's increase the font size. Now what we can do, Let's color this span. Inside that we have I. Let's choose the first I, nth child 1, color. Let's pick this tomato. The same way we have the second child. Let's pick that using the unchild. Let's try to give this one. Just give this number 2. Well, that's great. If you want, you can increase the font size again. Now what we need is, we need to add the text shadow. Top and bottom 0, left and right 0, spread 0, and the color is black. Now let's add the background linear gradient on 90°. I want transparent, the color black. This won't show up, I'll show you. Now we have to add somewhat 16 span tag again. Span tag, just change the variable name starting from 1 and it ends on 16. Now if I refresh, this is how it looks. If I give position absolute, it will be on one top of other. Now I want it on the single line, so white space, no wrap. Now to place this at the center, we can use transform, translate. It's the old trick that we used to follow before flex. Now this will make it at the center. Now this is not just one span tag, we have 16 span tag stacked one below the other. Now what we can do, we have to make this as a rotation. So rotate. If I make 90°, let's see how does this looks. If I want to access one by one, what we can do is calculation function. We need to pass the variable, in this case -i. Then we need to multiply it with the 360. We have 16 span tag, so it would come 22.5°. If I refresh, this is how it looks. Now what we can do is, the calculation is very important. We have to divide with the total number of span tag with 360. If the total number of span tag is 15, then we need to divide 360 divided by 15, and this answer will come here, and this will give the this would be the output. Now I want the rotation on the x-axis. Cool. And let's add the z index. Translate z index of 100 pixel. Almost there. Now we are almost there. Now it's just we have to rotate the box. So get the box, have the animation. Let's have the animation name animate. On the time and the number of time it need to play, it would be playing infinite number of time, and it would be in the pace of linear pace. And let's define the animation on keyframe, on 0th keyframe, and on 100th keyframe. On 0th keyframe, what we need to do is, we want the perspective to be, let's say, 100 pixel. Same here, and then rotate starting from 0 degree and end on 360 degree. It's a shorthand property, we don't need to have semicolon. And then we need to have the rotation. We have written perspective in the wrong way. The right way of writing it is, it's the property, sorry, it's the attribute of transform. This is the attribute and this is the property. The same way, refresh it. So this is how it rotates, and I want it to rotate on, let's say, z-axis. Let's try z-axis first. Okay, top and bottom. If I make this x, cool. Let's increase the animation duration to 12 seconds. Now we can rotate this. Of, we can have any degree, 25 degree, and we have to use the same degree here. Cool. I hope the scope of this video is done. The color you see, let's try adding the color one more time, transparent. This is the original one. If I zoom in, it's the box shadow. We have to get we haven't added the box shadow. Let's add the box shadow. Top and bottom 0, left and right 10 pixel, spread 20 pixel, and the color black. So if I add line height, we could see proper. Let us make this bigger, 1.5, or smaller, 0.5. Okay, 0.5 works. So I think the scope of this video is now done. So this is the before and this is what we have created.